Okay, boys and girls. Will you welcome my good friend David Letterman? Isn't that
nice? You betcha. You can't beat Marines on leave. Thank you.
Yes, please.
Johnny. Let me get this straight.
David, yeah.
You've been on the air 30 years.
Yeah,
You're down to your last week, 5 shows.
Right.
And you spend 20 minutes of that time talking to that guy about his cat.
That's right. And if you stay on another 20, you'll be talking to the cat.
And Clint, one night, Clint, would it have killed you? One night to wear a tie. I don't know. You know, it's a big deal. Why not? It's not a barbecue.
They're booing you. What is this, a Friar's roast you're doing all of a sudden? It's nice of you to come out here.
Thank you very much. I feel great.
Do you really?
Yeah, top physical condition of my life. And psychologically, I have peace of mind. Before the show, I got to a payphone. I called my house in Connecticut. There was no answer, and I think that's always a good sign. That's always a good sign.
I wasn't going to touch on that, but since you brought that is scary too. That's scary.
Oh, sure, it's scary. Yeah.
And but good Lord, real fan.
I could give her directions to your house.
No.
Mr. Free Time.
You got it. Well, maybe I'll come back to New York and hang out with you a little bit, or...
You know, oh, yeah, please do.
Sure.
You know, that brings up an interesting point.
All right, what is that?
Let me get into this.
Okay.
Here's what I'm getting a lot of. I'm getting a lot of this, are you going to miss Johnny? Are you going to miss Johnny? Am I going to miss Johnny? Are you going to miss Johnny?
It's boring, I know that.
Are your folks going to miss Johnny? Or is your clergyman going to miss Johnny? Is Daryl Gates going to miss Johnny? Or the Dodgers going to miss Johnny? I think there's another perspective to consider.
Sure.
All right. First of all, you're not passing away.
That's right.
You're still funny.
Thank you.
You're vibrant. You're charming, energetic, entertaining, a very nice guy. Ed, pick up a pointer or two.
You see? Now you caught me off guard because I thought, oh, he's setting it up, and you're going to take swerve to the right and do a joke, and you didn't.
Yeah. Okay, so you're alive, you're healthy, you're
energetic,
still
vibrant,
very
all of
entertaining
that.
man.
Right.
You're not going to prison like many of our top Hollywood stars.
That's true.
You're still going to be in show business.
I hope so.
You're going to be on television.
I hope so.
I have a show. You could be on my show.
That's true. Can I ask you a question?
You could be a guest. You could be a guest host.
Oh, I don't know about that.
Come to think of it, you can have the damn thing. Things ain't that great.
Still pissed, huh? Still chomping at the bit there. Look, about guesting on your show, do you pay what we do? Same fee?
Yeah, I believe
Then forget it. We'll work for that kind of money.
I think what people have to keep in mind now in considering this is the achievement. 30 years nightly entertainment, dominating television, and becoming a significant fixture in American culture. That's, I think, what we have to keep in mind here. Now, nightly entertainment, sure, I know the last 10, 12 years, what was it, like one night a week? Is that... That still does not diminish the achievement.
Couldn't go straight through with it, could you? You couldn't go straight through with it.
And then what people want to know regarding Ed, and it's none of my business, but I hear this, and you saved your money, right?
Oh, yeah.
All right, there you go.
Sure. Now,
so it's a happy ending for everybody.
You asked me one day, you're kidding about the frequent vacations, and that's true. But you asked me on your show one night when we first started the show. A lot of people didn't remember this. We went on in New York City live at 11:15 in the morning at night, and we went until 1 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
An hour and 45 minutes every single night of the week. And I'm going to tell you, after a couple of years, you are blinking a lot. We had about 20 of one authors would be coming in, you know. Here's Mrs. Ponty Klosnik to talk about 18 ways to make lasagna. I mean, you would go for anything.
You know, we still use her.
Do you really? Yeah. Don't throw anything away. You'll find it's like a slaughterhouse. You don't throw anything. You use everything.
Keep everything you can.
So, what else is new in your life? Did you just fly out or just get in town?
Yeah, I just got in town yesterday. You know, this is funny. It occurs to me when I heard Clint was going to be on the show. He and I met years and years ago, and I'm not sure if he remembers this.
From the look on his face, he doesn't.
Yeah. I was doing stand-up comedy.
I'm still working on the tie part.
Oh, it's a, you know, it's a...
But I know you got the gym socks, so you still got the gym socks.
You live by the sword, you die by the sword, yeah. So you met where?
We met at the Comedy Store. I was doing stand-up comedy there. This was like the mid or late 70s.
Yeah, it was just, well, I guess a couple of years before you started your show back then.
Yeah, that's right. And I remember everybody was very excited because Clint drove up and it looked like an old police car, an unmarked car. Remember that? A big gray Plymouth, one of that, a big, huge engine?
Yeah.
Yeah. And Clint would...
I thought you were going to say something else.
No, it was a great car. It was a beautiful old, and no hubcaps, no marks on it, but the thing was powerful and fast and nasty looking.
Exactly.
And so Clint would come in, and we'd be very excited because we were just beginners, and you want to impress the important guy in the audience. And so I was up there doing my little, I don't know what the hell I was doing. And I'm on stage, and I get off, and I'm very nervous, and I go to the back of the club where everybody kind of hangs out, and now you want to wait and see what's going on. And after about 5 minutes, here comes Clint Eastwood. And you see Clint Eastwood coming out of the lights in the club, you know, and he's very imposing. He's a tall man. Well, he's right here. You can see for yourself.
That's right. You can measure him if you want to.
That's with me. And he's, I got my back up against the wall, and he walks right up to me. And do you have any idea what you said to me?
No.
Oh, it was unbelievable. So I'm standing right like this, and he comes up to me and he says, "Where's the men's room, punk?"
Those are the moments.
Yeah. And I carried that with me.
I think those are the moments. I think those are the moments you treasure.
He's pissed.
You know, those are the moments you treasure. We're gonna just do a little something here, then we'll return to our little harlequinade. So stay where you are. What else you want to talk about? Anything else?
I mentioned coming out here last night. It seems to me that something always odd transpires on the trip coming out here. And this is a little experiment for me, a little story, a little reminder how people who seem odd, if you're sensing some oddness about a person, 99% of the time, it'll turn out that they are odd. Yesterday, I left New York City, flew out here at Delta. We love to fly, and it shows.
Right.
I hate those airlines that are just in it for the money. So, it's kind of a rolling laugh.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. And we get on the plane, and the people couldn't be nicer. The service is great, and it's clean, and I'm relaxed, and I'm happy. And a woman sits down next to me, and she's nondescript, is the only way I can describe her. Yeah. Just there's nothing significantly strange or unusual or interesting about the woman, just nondescript.
Bland, yeah.
Now, when this happens, and I'm going to be on a long flight, I take defensive measures. I'll usually look right at the person, get them right in the eyes, and I'll say to them, "Think we'll see any flying saucers?" They'll leave me alone.
That's fun.
But before this could happen, the woman says to me, "Wow, I am really hungry." And I think this is odd. And I said to her, "Well, you certainly come to the right place." It's not exactly a Red Lobster we're in, you know, it's an airplane. And so everything's fine, and they bring around the menus, and she's looking at it, and she says, "Oh, man, now I'm getting even hungrier." And I said, "Oh, yeah, you can't beat flying for really working up quite an appetite." And I said to her, "Ma'am, is it safe to say that the hunger is on you like a fever?" And she says, well, yes. So now, what I've done, I've diagnosed, in my head, made the diagnosis tapeworm. That's what I'm thinking. So she's perusing the menu.
Right in front of you.
Yeah, looking over the menu. Now, you know, on airplanes, above the passenger seats, you have that little console thing, and you have like 3 air vents, and you have a couple of buttons, one for the light and one for the stewardess or the flight attendant call button. Now, you hit that, and a bell goes off someplace, and the flight attendant will come to see if you need any kind of help. All right, so she's sitting there, and she's looking over the menu, and she's just about ready to go, and she puts it down, puts the menu down. This is like an hour into the flight. She stands up, she's kind of half-crouched. She presses the flight attendant button. She puts her face about that far from the air nozzle. And she says, "I'll have the chicken Diablo. I'd like the garden salad with the French dressing and coffee." What the hell is that? I don't know.
Woman.
What are people nuts?
This lady.
I'd never seen
Probably
anything
her
like
first
it.
time. Must have been her first time.
No, she seemed like a seasoned traveler.
Well, obviously not too well seasoned. Not well done, anyway. Junior, when you came on here in the early years, you used to talk about, I hate to bring this up because it might, same thing might have happened to your dog that happened to Condoli's cat.
No,
your dog, Bob?
My dog is 40 now.
You talked about that dog a lot, Bob, if I remember.
Bob passed away. Bob
I didn't know that. I'm
well,
sorry.
that's a long time ago. And that's what happens with pets.
didn't know
And they
that.
bring you a lot of joy and a lot of happiness
Yes, they
while
do.
they're around. But yeah, I used to talk a lot about Bob because he was, I love the animal the way pet owners love their animals. He was I remember I told you on the show, he was a rare breed. He was a Belgian Airhead.
Belgian Airhead. I do remember that. But lovable.
And I was thinking about that the other day, and there was, it was one summer, about 5 or 6 years ago in Connecticut, and it was hotter than hell. Just unbelievably hot, and when it gets hot back east and in the Midwest, there's also that oppressive humidity. So I get up early, and I don't know what to do, so I think, well, I better clean out the refrigerator, get rid of the perishables, you know.
Yeah.
And I come across a 2-pound load of ground beef, and you could tell that, you know, I mean, if I was a doctor, I'd want to run tests on it. It had gone, so I just, okay, let's get rid of that. And I go out and I run some errands, and I come home, and there's Bob kind of sitting around the house, and I see the wrapper for the 2-pound of ground beef there on the kitchen floor, and I think, oh my God, the damn dog has ingested 2 pounds of rotten beef. And so right away I call the vet, and I tell him what has happened, and the vet says, well, you know, dogs have cast iron constitutions. And oh, I'm breathing a sigh of relief now. But then he says what vets will always say to you, he says, yeah, but you know, if it was my dog, I'd want to get that beef out of him. And I said, great, I'll bring him right over, you know. And he says, well, you know, sorry, we're closed. He says, but you can do something. You can get it out yourself. And I think, oh, what is this, you know, surgery in the garage? He says, give him some hydrogen peroxide, and it'll bring it all up. He said, give him 2 tablespoons of hydrogen peroxide. Right. And everything will be fine. So me and Bob go out into the yard, and I got the hydrogen peroxide, and I got the tablespoons right here. I got Bob in a headlock, and I'm ready to pour the hydrogen peroxide. And for the next 90 minutes, it's collegiate wrestling. Oh, it's almost a pin. There's an escape. There's a takedown. The dog won't drink the hydrogen peroxide, so I go back inside, and I pour out the contents of a bottle of Windex with a big pump sprayer on it. I pour the hydrogen peroxide in the bottle, and I get a good one on him, and I squirt about a quart of that stuff down Bob. So now I'm like a tourist at Old Faithful. You know, I'm thinking, do I have time to go to the car to get the camera? I don't know. It's gonna blow any second here. I don't want to miss this. And finally, it works. Unbelievably. And there it is. There's the ground beef, and it looks just almost like it did earlier in the day. Except now it's got quite a head on it now.
That's a great story. We'll be right back. Stay where you are.